Dear children, welcome to the next resource, that is soil as a resource. Now when we have introduced ourselves with the land and soil, at that time we have seen that soil, even though it is a part of a land, but it is studied separately. That is because of its use. It is fulfilling one of our major requirement, basic requirement, that is food. And for growing food, soil is a major component. It's all depend upon the soil's fertility, quality, variety, that what are all types of food crops we will be taking. And because of this, soil is dealt separately because its problems are different, its solutions are different, it has to be studied differently, and if we include it in a land, then it may get neglected. Hence, soil needs to be studied separately. So, soil is a separately studied resource. Now obviously it is a resource because it is useful for growing the crops, and this is how the main thing regarding soil which we will be working or studying more about, that is the characteristics of these soils plus the conservation techniques, and we will be also seeing what are the types of crops which are grown in different types of soil. So let's begin with the soil. First of all, soil is which part of the earth's surface. Here we have, that is, the soil is the top fine layer of the earth's crust. Earth's crust, the hardest layer of the crust, and in that also the topmost layer, which is very narrow. It is not long, it is actually not very deep, it is just a narrow layer, and this topmost fine color powder, or you can say the mixture, this is called as the soil. Now soil, there are always the controversies whether it is a renewable resource or whether it is a non-renewable resource. If we see, it is basically a renewable resource because soil formation process is continuously going on. It is continuously going on, constantly it is going, and hence the soil is getting renewed again and again. That is another thing, that yes, it takes millions of years just to form 1 centimeter of soil, but because the process is continuous, the formation occurs on a large scale, and as a result we call it as a renewable. But because it is taking millions of years, some of the scientists, they also say that it is a non-renewable resource. So we can deal it as a both way. Our textbook has given us as the renewable resource. There is one more line given over here that says it is a living system. Now because it is a living system, living, what is the characteristics of anything which is living? When whichever thing is living, we find that it is growing, it is showing some changes. Here living has nothing to do because the living organisms are there in the soil, that's why it is a living system. Here the system is living, that means the soil formation, soil is having the continuous system of its formation, it is an ongoing process, and because this system is going continuously, it is growing on and on and on, and any living thing, it grows, and hence it is called as a living system. If you get this particular question that explain that how the soil is a living system, in this you have to first of all give the soil profile, you have to present, that is a diagram. Second, you will be explaining the soil formation process, which we will be soon studying now. And third, which you have to importantly include in the answer, and that is that the process is going on continuously, it is continuously growing, hence the soil is called as a living system. So here we have the soil as a living system. About soil, few details over there. Now regarding the formation, soil profile. Profile, when anything you cut in the vertical section, when we see the layers, this is the profile we are seeing. Now whenever you will see a soil profile, you will find every soil requires a base rock, a parent rock from where the soils will be formed. Parent rock plays a very important role. Parent rock, as you have studied in your earlier classes, 3 types of rocks are there. We have igneous rocks, we have sedimentary rocks, and we have metamorphic rocks. Igneous, which is made out of the lava, that is when the lava comes out and when it cools down, that is an igneous rock. Sedimentary rock, when the river flows and brings lots of sediment, and when the sediment gets deposited on one and another, that hardens actually, and this hardened rock is called as a sedimentary rock. Now these two are considered as the base rocks. Primary rock, that is the igneous rock, and after that you get the sedimentary rock, and from these two rocks, when a completely new rock is formed, that is called as metamorphic, like you have studied in your earlier classes. Like sandstone or clay is basically the sedimentary rock, but when they convert due to heat, pressure or atmospheric actions, they turn into the clay and all, they turn into the granites and all, likewise they become. Similarly, you have when the igneous rock also turning into a different type of rock, these are metamorphic rock. Metamorphic, it means when the basic rock goes under some changes, and a changed rock like limestone converts into the marble. So this is what the metamorphic. Now this was just for revision. The parent rock. Now the parent rock, it is very much below, that is a part of Earth's crust. Now this rock will undergo to some kind of different processes of weathering. Weathering, that is the breaking of rock. Breaking of rock can occur by number of things. Plant roots, plants and animals, burrowing animals, they can be responsible for breaking the rock. Sometimes the chemical actions like the sudden heat and sudden rainfall, the climate, that can be also responsible. If you are staying in extreme climate region, then the daytime very hot and night time it is very cold. So due to contraction and expansion, also the rocks can break. There are various processes by which the weathering can occur. So when the rock will get weathered, broken into pieces, after that it will be further disintegrated. That means it will become more finer and finer, and finally you will reach to the topmost layer, which is a very fine layer. Now this layer, when comes in contact with vegetation or some kind of microorganisms or living things, then they start accumulating humus also in that. So in this humus collection, the soil starts getting fertile. Sometimes in this process you also find the fossils are also found, like the dead animals or plant remains, they get trapped in these, and then even those can be also there. So this is how the soil profile, where you have the parent rock at the bottom, then weathered rock material, subsoil with sand, silt and clay mixture, and then finally topmost soil with the humus collection. So the layers, likewise you will get the fine layer of the topmost layer of the soil. Now it is not always possible to find such kind of profile in all the types of soil, because this is a basic formation process, but then all the soils will not have the same process. Like for example, if I want to discuss the alluvial soil, like you have alluvial soil fully in your northern plain. Last year, if you remember how the northern plains have formed, so that has formed, you have studied that the rivers from the Himalayas, they are bringing lots of sediment and then they are depositing it into the northern plain. So in case of northern plain, then what is happening? That somewhere the different parent rock got eroded, and then that eroded material was carried and then it was deposited. So if you dig the alluvial soil region, you may not find at the bottom the parent rock, because parent rock was somewhere else. So this is what is for few soils this thing will not work. That is the soil profile you may not get. Now how the soil forms, that means what are the things which are forming the soil, factors affecting soil formation. These are the 5 major factors, out of which 2 are very important. First one, parent rock. Now what will happen because of parent rock to the soil. Parent rock will give its color, texture, then chemical properties. Whatever chemicals, minerals will be there in the parent rock, they will be transferred to the soil. Minerals also content and permeability, porosity and everything, these all kind of chemical properties they will be, and some of them are physical properties also. So they will be given to the soil by the parent rock. Next is climate. Now climate will decide the speed of weathering and even the quality of the soil also, like temperature, rainfall, it influences the weathering and humus collection. If we imagine the soils of northeast, lots of humus, so the soils are different, they are the forest and mountainous soils are there. Whereas the deserts, Rajasthan, due to very high temperature, no humus at all, so these soils are arid soils. So the type of soil, fertility of the soil, formation speed of the soil will all get affected by the climate. We have the next factor, that is time. Older the soil, thicker the soil actually determines the thickness of the soil. If it is older, it will be more and more thicker. Now here not related, but still I would like to give you this example because this is very prominent example. We remember that in Uttarakhand we had few years back a huge flood actually. At that time the complete soil got eroded, and if you visit these areas now, you will find that the big rocks, the complete bedrocks and parent rock, they are on the top. Now this is such a huge loss of soil. This such a big time it took to form the soil layer, but that everything got eroded, and now it will take another millions of years for that region to get covered with same type of soil, right? So this is what the time matters a lot, and here you can also get one hint that how bad the erosion, how badly the erosion can affect the soil resource. We have next very important flora, fauna and the microorganisms. Now these will add to the humus which is give the organic items, and this will decide the fertility. Relief. Now relief here, as you have studied last time, slope. Suppose if we are on the mountain slopes, how much soil will get accumulated, that decides the altitude, determine the accumulation of soil, that means how much thick the soil will be. If it is a foothills like northern plain, the thickness of soil will be a lot because lots of soils are getting accumulated. But if the soils are on the mountainous region, it will be constantly getting moved, it is flown down by the river, by the wind. So on the slopes the occurrence of the soil will be less. Like to see over here, like the hills, if you have, if the soils are getting, if it will be accumulated lots, like here you will have lots of soils getting accumulated because accumulation is more, here the relief is less. But if we talk about the slopes, if we talk about these soils, then here the constant flow of the water will not allow the soil accumulation. This is what the 5 factors of formation, soil formation. Now there are other factors of nature which also affects the soil formation. Now you can say these are the agents, these are the things which are helping in one or other way. You have wind. Now role of wind in the erosion. Wind erodes from somewhere and then it deposits. So yes, in the soil formation wind also plays an important role. Water, yes, running water will bring the sediment from somewhere and it will deposit, so that is also playing. Glaciers, glacial action also, glaciers also, they move the parent rocks and all, and then they move and then they deposit. Then you have the natural decomposers. Humus collection is there, but then natural decomposers will add to the nitrogen fixations and all, they act actually. So here these are also the other factors, but the main 5 factors will be the previous ones. Now every soil is having various types of characteristics or properties, if we say. It has physical properties such as like aggregation and structure. What kind of structure the soil is having? Sand, silt, clay, or only clay and sand, or only sand likewise. Surface sealing, that means what kind of porosity and all these are also there. Surface sealing, that how much it is going down. Compaction, that how closely clayey soils are very compact. Porosity, like the sandy soil, very much porous. Water movement and availability, these are few physical properties. Chemical properties, pH level, how many salts are there, sodium, then nutrient holding capacity, nutrients availability also. Biological, like fauna, microfauna, these are the microorganisms. Roots, biological activity, organic matter. The thing is that all these things are different in different soils, and because of that you do not have the soils of one single type. We have variety of soils. So depending upon their all these properties, we find that the soils are of various types. The one which is very familiar to us, as we are aware, that is the alluvial soil. Now alluvial soil completely covered in the northern plains, this is one type. You have another black soil where we are staying in the Deccan Trap region, totally looks black. We have red and yellow color soil. If you have visited Konkan, Maharashtra, western side, you will find the soils are reddish color over there. We have laterite. Now laterite is a very infertile soil. It is just like a brick material, like bricks by which you made the house. If you crush that, the same technique is naturally used, or naturally the same technique is getting done, and these type of soils are formed. Arid soils, so arid soils in the deserts. We have one more type, that is forest and mountain soil. Now forest and mountain soil, here mainly the soils which are found in Himalayan region, that is considered. And Himalayan region, it is mountainous also, plus it is forested also. So the soils which are found in Himalayan region, they are called as forest and mountain soil. If you remember last year in the natural vegetation chapter, you have studied forest, that is the high altitudinal forest, right? Montane forest, if you remember. As for montane forest, you did not study that there is a single type of plant. Similarly, in the forest and mountainous soil, you do not get a single type of soil. Like if I am talking about the foothills, like these are the foothills, mainly there the soil is found in the mountainous region, because otherwise the earlier part Himalayas, the relief wise is very rugged topography, so no accumulation of soil is going on. Maximum accumulation goes at the foothills or in the river valleys. So the soils in forest and mountainous region we find in the alluvial fans, wherever the rivers are depositing and breaking into the slope suddenly. So such kind of depositions occur. River terraces, like you will find one layer deposition, another layer deposition, even these are fertile. We find one more type of soil in this, and that is acidic basically. This is in the upper altitude where the snow covered regions are there. So wherever the snow covered regions are there in the Himalayas, these regions are having the acidic type of soil. And this is what we are going to study in the next part, of course, that is the various types of soils we will be studying. So here we have the very first type of soil, that is alluvial soil. Now in this session I will just cover the alluvial soil. Now from here onwards I would like to tell you one thing specifically. The slides which I have used, that is covering not even 10% of material from the textbook given. So the slide material will not be used for writing the answers. You are going to read the textbook, find out the characteristics, as it is I have given you in the assignment to prepare a tabular form in this. So you have to literally go through each and every line, and then those informations you are going to use for writing your answers. So the very first soil which we have, that is alluvial soil. Alluvial soil formation we have already discussed, mainly found in the northern plains. Northern plain fully made up of alluvial soil. Obviously northern plain is made up of three river system, Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus. Similarly, the alluvial soils of India, they are made because of these three river systems, that means Ganga river, Brahmaputra river and the Indus river. So you have Ganga, Brahmaputra basin and all regions also. Then where is it is found? So you have the map attached which you will be seeing there, the complete northern plain, parts of Rajasthan and all the plains. You will also have the soils present in the complete delta regions. Do you remember last year third chapter, drainage? You have studied many delta regions. Krishna river, Godavari river, Kaveri river. So you have marked very small areas where the delta regions were there. And these delta regions are also the places where the alluvial soils are found. So here you will be, if you get the alluvial soils to mark, these are the places which you have to mark. Now the next thing, alluvial soils, they are the combination of course of perfect combination of the sand, silt and clay. Then these soils, you will have like formation, here composition, they are rich in lime and potash. You will get that these soils are very fertile, basically they are rich in potash, phosphoric and the lime. They are very good for the cultivation of rice, wheat, sugarcane, cotton, oil seeds and jute. So Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and even the delta regions, they are found. Characteristics, they are very fertile, fine grain and they are of various types. Now types in this, if you remember last year we have done the types of these soils, Bhangar, Khadar, Terai and Bhabar. Under what heading have we studied that? Relief wise division of northern plain. So relief wise division of northern plain. Okay, we will be doing in that detail. For every soil you have to take out one positive point and one negative point. So for alluvial soils, positive points are many. You can pick up and write any. Here it is highly fertile soil. You can write down it is good for cultivation of what. You can also write down that it is rich in potash and all also. Negative, that in drier areas like in Rajasthan also we find few regions where the alluvial soils are there. But these regions, if we want to cultivate, then we have to use the irrigation technique. So that is the only minor negative part you will find for this soil. Now as I was talking about the soils, variety of types and all, now this mainly found in the Piedmont Plateau or Piedmont region. Piedmont region, it's the foothills of the mountain and this is the exact place where the northern plains are located. Now here you will find that these soils are known by various names and they are first Duars, second Terai and third Khos. Let's go back. Duars. Now Duars, it is the same soil but then they are known by different names. So Duars, these are the floodplains and foothills of the eastern Himalayas in the northeast India and around Bhutan. So Bhutan, or you should study Assam region. Assam region, whichever alluvial soils are found, these regions they are known as Duars. Then Terai. Terai, if you remember, Dudhwa National Park, Uttar Pradesh. So it means below Nepal and below Uttarakhand, whichever alluvial soils are there. Remember, only in the Piedmont zone. That means only at the foothills, not the complete northern plain. Only at the foothills. Like if I want to show you here, let's make it very clear. That is, let us take a color. Okay, here they have shown this section. You will find only the green shaded region, only this small part, not the whole part, right? Only this small part is basically the Terai soils, not the complete alluvial. So likewise only foothills in Uttar Pradesh and all, they are known as Terai. Terai are the belts of marshy land at the foothills of mountains. And then you go ahead with Khos. Khos, they are known by the Khos name in the region Punjab and all. So Shivaliks are the youngest ranges of Himalaya. Southern slopes of Shivaliks range in Punjab and Himachal. So this is Punjab and Himachal where the khos, they are called as khos. So it is like duars, terai and the khos, right? So till here we are going to do today.